This is Southern Cross News with Rachel Williams.
Tasmania's social services sector is calling for long-term measures to help fight a housing shortage. With a federal election looming sometime in the next year, the lobbying has already begun for national action to fight housing stress.
People sleeping rough at temporary campsites is just the tip of the iceberg of Tasmania's housing shortage.
The homeless issue that we see in our city continues to grow, and it is a real challenge for us as a community to deal with. It's not something that the community sector can do on their own.
As state authorities work on short-term solutions for those affected by housing stress, social services say structural changes are needed.
Looking at capital gains and negative gearing as part of the system that needs to be addressed in Australia to decrease inequality across a range of areas, including in the housing market.
Federal Labor's policy is to phase out negative gearing tax deductions for future landlords.
The problem is that the vast bulk of the tax subsidy is going to property investors who are getting a windfall gain in the tax system, but also that provides an unlevel playing field against first home buyers.
But the Liberals say this could have unintended consequences.
If people don't want to rent their houses out, the market shrinks, prices go up because there's greater demand, it makes it harder to rent. People can't afford to pay their rent now. This policy will only make it harder.
Any changes to negative gearing in Tasmania will have no impact on supply, and it will not address the rental shortage that we have in Tasmania. What we would be better to do is actually spend time looking at how we can increase supply.
It's set to be a key issue on the election wish list.
We would be lobbying hard as we lead into the federal election to ensure that the federal Liberal government address Tasmania's housing needs.
Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
An 18-year-old man has been taken to hospital with serious injuries from a crash on the South Arm Highway at Lauderdale overnight. Police say his ute lost control and collided with an oncoming vehicle shortly before 2 a.m. Investigators are calling for information from anyone who saw the white ute in the lead-up to the crash. A frightening scene unfolded in Glenorchy last night with a toddler straying onto the traffic on Elwick Road near a busy roundabout in low light. Luckily, passing motorists and a large truck spotted the child. Drivers stopped in the middle of the road and came to his assistance. It's not clear where the toddler came from, but he's understood to be okay thanks to the efforts of vigilant and careful motorists. A lesson for us all to pay attention when behind the wheel and expect the unexpected. Some of Tasmania's best athletes with a disability have spent today battling it out at the State Boccia Championships in Launceston. Players taking part in the tense competition while offering a chance to socialise with others in similar situations.
It's a game requiring skill and precision. These local and interstate athletes today taking part in the Boccia State Championships in Launceston.
It can be fun, but when you are on court, you sort of have a game atmosphere and you're sort of ready to play.
Pretty good hand-eye coordination. You also have to know a lot of angles and all of that.
All are living with a disability, grouped into one of 3 classifications depending on their levels of mobility.
A lot of the young people have cerebral palsy, some of them have spina bifida, some of them have a brain injury, there's a range of disabilities.
The aim of the game to throw, kick or use a ramp to get a ball as close to the pin as possible.
You know, if the other person gets on the jack and then you can't get there, you know, you block them so they don't get more shots, or you might knock their ball out of court. Yeah, it's a very tactical game.
Offering a chance to be social with others living similar lives without forgetting the true aim of the game.
These guys are here to win medals, that's what it's all about. And yeah, no friends when you step inside the lines, isn't it?
The National Championships will be held in Sydney in May, with the Tasmanian branch always on the lookout for more players.
Anybody can really have a go at it, and it's really adaptable to how you want to play.
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
To the TSL and North Launceston have held off a gutsy Clarence outfit at Blunston Arena this afternoon in the closest contest of the season so far. Overnight, Lauderdale got their first win of the year after overrunning the Tigers, while it was as expected between Glenorchy and North Hobart at KG5.
With the Roos having got the better of the Bombers in their past few southern encounters, the home side came out strong, with Troy Cunliffe once again proving a steady boot. Ben Simpson answered for the reigning premiers as the Bombers set about turning their Blunston Arena fortunes around. With just a major in it at the long break, missed chances prevented the Bombers from edging ahead, but when Zach Burt was taken high right in front of the sticks, he made sure of it. Wade Wall helped keep the Roos within reach as the clock wound down, but the Bombers skipper rose to the occasion, with the visitors holding on for the 12-point win. The Tigers and Lauderdale also rising to the occasion of Friday night footy in a fiery clash at the Twin Ovals. Former Demons Ryan Matthews and Will Campbell helped the home side to a 4-goal buffer at half-time before the Bombers rallied in the third, with Northern Territory import Tim Mosquito providing the spark with 4 majors for the match. With hardly a thing in it come the home stretch, both sides battled hard around the contest, but with the Bombers chasing their first win of the season, the desperation proved the difference, running home the 27-point winners. Over at KG5, it was the usual suspects on song for the Pies, with Jay Bowden booting 3 majors as the side made easy work of a young North Hobart outfit. Zach Webster impressed, kicking 2 of his own, with the home side 8 goals up at the main break. North Hobart managing to find the middle of the sticks just 5 times for the match, with Glenorchy's dominant season continued, storming home the 87-point winners.
And it was a deadlock in the NPL today, with Clarence and Kingborough playing out a 1-1 draw at Wentworth Park. The home side struck first when Jonathan O'Neill capitalised on a mad scramble in the box to give his side a 1-goal buffer at half-time. With the clock winding down, a penalty saw Danny Cohen given the chance to equalise for the visitors, with the striker making sure of it to avoid defeat. Devonport's Jason and John White have done it again, claiming a 7th Targa Tasmania title, with their Dodge Viper crossing the finish line in Hobart this afternoon, 2.5 minutes ahead of nearest rivals Steve Glennie and Andy Sarandis.
Very enjoyable as much as it was intense, but yeah, it was certainly very rewarding to spend the week with John doing what we do to a crazy level that I never thought we had in us.
The Whites began the day 27 seconds clear of Matt Close before his Porsche crashed out of the race just 800 metres into the first stage.
I don't think we've ever driven that bloody hard or been under that much pressure so consistently. Matt was on a charge.
Michael Bray never looked in doubt to claim the Classic GT category, while Graham Copeland finished on top in the Classic Handicap.
Good evening. A mostly sunny afternoon across the state today. 22 was the state's high at Grove. Hobart reached 19, Launceston 21, Burnie 17 and Devonport 18 degrees. 21 today at Friendly Beaches, 20 degrees for Flinders Island, St Helens and Lyowini. Strawn 19 along with King Island. Smithton and Low Head both 18, 17 at Ouse and Maria Island. Here we can see low-level cloud across the northwest of Tasmania, with a band of mid to high-level cloud that moved quickly across the state. A band of mid to high-level cloud approached Tasmania, crossing into Victoria. Mid to low-level cloud with embedded thunderstorms was seen over New South Wales and Queensland, while patchy high-level cloud streams over WA. Tomorrow, a trough passes the southern tip of Tasmania while a high pressure system sits in the Tasman Sea. There is a trough over South Australia and a cold front crossing Western Australia. 2 coastal waters, winds 5 to 15 knots during the day and increasing 10 to 20 knots about the west and south. Seas 1 to 1.5 metres. There are no warnings today. Tomorrow, partly cloudy in Hobart, 21, 22 for Richmond and Ouse. Early fog in Launceston, 21, partly cloudy and 19 for Devonport, and similar conditions with 18 in Deloraine. Burnie and Strawn, partly cloudy, 19. Curry also partly cloudy, 18. 21 and partly cloudy at Whitemark and St Helens, 21 for Swansea. Looking ahead to Monday, fine and mostly sunny. Tuesday, showers in the west, fine elsewhere, and Wednesday, showers in the west and far south, fine elsewhere. To the mainland, sunny in Alice Springs, Broome, Adelaide, Darwin and Melbourne, a shower or 2 for Brisbane and Cairns, and partly cloudy for Canberra and Sydney. And currently it is 15 and cloudy in Hobart, Launceston 13 and partly cloudy, Devonport 13 and cloudy.